Hello everyone, how are you all? This is your educator G. Vijaya Manorama. Subscribe my channel Vijaya Manorama Tutorials. As yesterday I have started the chapter biological classifications. Okay, so this is the second part of that lecture. So in this today's session, we are going to discuss about the classification of plants and animals in brief, and along with the NCERT exercises of this chapter also we are going to discuss. Okay, so as yesterday we have discussed the two kingdom classification, three kingdom classification, four kingdom classification, five kingdom classification, and six kingdoms classification. So two kingdom classification where plants and animals are included. About plants and animals only today's topic is. When we discussed about the three kingdom classification, it was with Protista, Plantae and Animalia, and four kingdom classification is with Monera, Protista, Plantae and Animalia. Five kingdom classification is Monera, Protista, fungi is included in the five kingdom classification along with Plantae and Animalia. And six kingdom classification, here Monera is divided into two, Archaeobacteria and Eubacteria. Okay, so we have discussed like heterotrophic, chemotrophic, phototropic, all different types of organisms. So about that only in brief the kingdom Plantae and Animalia we will discuss. So when about plants, if we discuss, the plants are classified on the basis of their use, form and structure. Earlier systems were classified on the on the basis of the habit as like if they are very big they are called as trees, if they are little smaller than the trees they are called as shrubs, smaller than that undershrubs and herbs. Later on the natural affinities in addition to morphological features become the major consideration of classifying the plants. So studies on evolution helped in understanding the phylogeny on of organisms, and the taxonomists use the phylogenetic relationship for the classifying plants. Okay, so in detail we are going to discuss in the topic plant kingdom in the next chapter when I start. Okay, so this notes is very much useful for your NEET examination as well as. Okay, so term 1 examination when it is included with multiple choice questions only. So these all each and every sentence which I am giving, that is in the form of multiple choice, you can prepare for it. So in detail we will discuss in the plant kingdom. So in the kingdom Plantae, which is included with lichens also and Animalia, in that kingdom Plantae they contains all the eukaryotic photosynthetic organisms. Few are partially heterotrophic insectivorous plants such as Phenus flytrap or parasites like Cuscuta. These all things are included. Plant cells, they are eukaryotic with prominent chloroplast and cellulosic cell wall, exhibit alternation of generation. The life cycle of the plant, if you see, this is of two types, saprophytic phase and gametophytic phase. Saprophytic phase is always diploid and gametophytic phase is always haploid. So major divisions which are included, major groups are like algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Okay, so the distinguished characteristics of all the five kingdoms in detail we will discuss in the chapter of kingdom Plantae of five kingdoms classification in detail. So these groups are included like algae. Algae is included with brown algae, red algae and green algae. Algae is included with algae is included with brown algae, red algae and green algae. Okay, next one is bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperm. Angiosperms are all the flowering plants are included in angiosperms. All the flowering plants, all the flowering plants are included. Only the general characters of these groups along with the basis of their further classification we will discuss later, right? So kingdom Animalia, if you see, they are heterotrophic eukaryotic multicellular organisms. Animal cells are lack of cell wall. Directly or indirectly, they depend on plants for the food. Okay, they directly or indirectly they depend on the other plants only. They are depending, so directly or indirectly depend on the plants for the food. Digestion is internal and store food reserves as glycogen or fat under the skin. It is stored. Okay, and follow definite growth pattern, grow into adults having definite shape and size. Higher forms show elaborate sensory and neuromotor mechanism, most capable of locomotion. Sexual reproduction is by copulation of male and female, followed by embryological development. Okay, sexual reproduction takes place. So animal world is the most diverse group of organisms in comparison to the plant world. Okay, which is included more than million of living forms, and scientists are engaged in searching many more. Therefore the number is constantly increasing. Okay, so animals however exhibit diversity not only in their number but also in their structure and function. Here if you see, the animals are divided into unicellular and multicellular. Animal kingdom, if you see, they are included with unicellular and multicellular. Okay, unicellular and multicellular, and almost they are heterotrophs only, because they cannot prepare their own food. They depend on other source for it, so which they ingest. Okay, they exhibit a power of mobility and possess a peculiar sensory or nervous system. So that is only the elaborate sensory and neuromotor mechanism is present. They are capable of locomotion. They move from one place to another place. Mobility means ability to move. Okay, so animals are of two types. Some are mobile animals, some are sedentary animals. So these all things we will discuss in the classification of animals topic. Okay, so next one is lichens. Symbiotic association between fungi and algae. Algal component, phycobiont. Okay, phycobiont, autotrophic they are called as. Next, fungal component. Algal component is phycobiont, they are autotrophic. Fungal biont and mycobiont heterotrophic, they depend on autotrophs. Algae prepare food for fungi. In return, fungi absorb water and minerals and provide shelter to the algae. Very good pollution indicators. Do not grow in polluted areas. Okay, lichens do not grow in polluted areas. It is a very good pollution indicator. If it is not growing, it means that area is polluted, right? So this is about the topic biological classification of class 11th. This is the chapter 2. So now we are going to discuss the exercises. 12 questions are given. So just if you go through with the questions, multiple choice questions, it is useful. That's why. So discuss how classification system have undergone several changes over a period of time. The classification system have undergone several changes with time. The first attempt of classification was made by Aristotle, father of biology. He classified plants as herbs, shrubs and trees. Animals on the other hand were classified on the basis of the presence or absence of the red blood cells. Red blood cells, if red animals, they are called as. If the RBC is present, if the RBC is not present, based on that the classification is given. So this system of classification is failed to classify all the known organisms. Therefore, Linnaeus gave a two-kingdom system of classification, which is consists of only Plantae and Animalia. So, however, this system did not differentiate between unicellular and multicellular organisms and between eukaryotes and prokaryotes. So, later on, the development was increased. Then only they can differentiate it whether the organism is eukaryotic or prokaryotic, unicellular and multicellular. This differentiation was not included. Only Plantae and kingdom it was given. Plantae and Animalia it was given. So therefore there are very large number of organisms that could not be classified under the two kingdoms. Few animals are there, few organisms are there which won't come under plants, won't come under animals also. So that's why that was a big problem. To solve these problems, a five kingdom system of classification which was proposed by R.H. Whittaker in 1969 on the basis of characteristics as such as cell wall, mode of nutrition, presence of cell wall, etc. So five kingdom classification is like Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae and animalia. So these on the basis of what are the characteristics which included in the differentiation in the classification, if you see, it is included with all the five. The criteria for the classification is cell structure, body organization, mode of nutrition, presence of cell wall. Okay, reproduction, and next one is evolutionary relationships of also phylogenetic relationship. This all things were given by R.H. Whittaker. Okay, in 1969. Next question. State two economically important uses of heterotrophic bacteria and archaea bacteria. Heterotrophic bacteria, they act as decomposers and help in the formation of humus. They help in the production of curd from milk. Many antibiotics are obtained from some species of bacteria. Many soil bacteria help in the fixation of atmospheric nitrogen. Next one is archaea bacteria. Methane gas is produced from the dung of ruminants by the Methanogens are also included in the formation of biogas and sewage treatment. What is the nature of cell wall in diatoms? The cell walls of diatoms are made up of silica. It is a construction which is known as frustule. It is consist of two thin overlapping shells that fit into each other such as a soap box. When the diatoms die, the silica in their cell walls get deposited in the form of diatomaceous earth. The diatomaceous earth is very soft and quite inert. It is used in the filtration of oils, sugars and for other industrial purposes. Next, find out what do the terms algal bloom and red tide signify. Algal bloom refers to an increase of the population of algae or blue-green algae in water, resulting in discoloration of the water body. So this causes an increase in the biological oxygen demand, resulting in the death of fishes and other aquatic animals. Red tides are caused by red dinoflagellates, gonelacs, that multiply rapidly due to the large numbers. The sea appears totally red in color, okay, due to the red algae. They release large amounts of toxins in water that can cause death of a large number of fishes. How are viroids different from viruses? Viroids are discovered in 1917 by Theo Denier. They cause potato spindle tuber disease. They are small in size than viruses. They also lack the protein coat and contain free RNA of low molecular weight. So viroids are discovered in 1917, which cause potato spindle tuber disease. Okay, viroids are smaller than the size of virus. Virus only very small, smaller than that. Virus are viroids. Okay, so describe briefly the four major groups of protozoa. Protozoa is divided into four major groups: amoeboid protozoa, flagellated protozoa, ciliated protozoa and saprozoans. Here, okay, so protozoa are microscopic unicellular protists with heterotrophic mode of nutrition. They may be holozoic, saprobic and or parasitic. Divided into four major groups: amoeboid protozoa or sarcodines, unicellular jelly-like So jelly-like protozoa found in fresh or sea water and in moist soil. Their body lacks a periplast, therefore they may be naked or covered by a calcareous shell. Okay, they usually lack flagella and have temporary protoplasmic outgrowths called pseudopodia. So these pseudopodia or false feet help in the movement and capturing the prey. They include free living forms such as amoeba or parasitic forms such as entamoeba. Next one is flagellated protozoa or zooflagellates. They are free living, non photosynthetic flagellates without a cell wall. It is. So they possess the flagella for locomotion and capturing prey. So they include parasitic forms such as trypanosoma, which causes the sleeping sickness in the human beings. Right? Next, ciliated protozoa or ciliates. Ciliated protozoa or ciliates. So they are aquatic individuals that form a large group of protozoa. Large group it is. So their characteristic features are the presence of numerous cilia on the entire body surface and the presence of two types of nuclei. All the cilia beat in the same direction to move the water laden food inside a cavity called gullet. They include organisms such as Paramecium, Vorticella, etc. Sporozoans, they include disease causing endoparasites and other pathogens. They are uninucleate and their body is covered by a pellicle. They do not possess cilia or flagella. They include the malaria causing parasites, parasite Plasmodium. Okay, plants are autotrophic. Can you think of some plants that are partially heterotrophic? Okay, plants have autotrophic mode of nutrition. Plants have autotrophic mode of nutrition as they contain the chlorophyll pigment. Thus, they have the ability to prepare their own food by the process called as photosynthesis, right? So, however, some insectivorous plants are partially heterotrophic. They have various means of capturing insects as a supplement their diet with required nutrients derived from insects causing proliferation of growth. The examples include the pitcher plant Nepenthes, Venus flytrap, bladderworth and sundew plants. To fulfill the nitrogen need, they generally depend on these plants for what are this? Insectivorous plants for fulfilling the need of nitrogen. They depend on insects. Okay. What do the terms phycobiont and mycobiont signify? Phycobiont refers to the algal component of the lichens and mycobiont refers to the mycobiont refers to the fungal component. Algae contains chlorophyll and prepare food for fungi, whereas the fungus provides shelter to algae and absorb water and nutrients from the soil. This type of relationship is referred as symbiotic relationship. Okay. Lichens is the example for that. Give a comparative account of classes of kingdom fungi under the following. Mode of nutrition and mode of reproduction. Phycomycetes, this group of fungi, they are included with the members called as rhizopus and albugo. So mode of nutrition is they are obligate parasites on plants or are found on decaying matter such as wood. So mode of reproduction, asexual reproduction takes place through motile zoospores or non-motile aplanospores. Okay, that are produced endogenously in sporangium. Sexual reproduction may be of isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous type. It results in the formation of thick-walled zygospores. Okay. Next one is Ascomycetes. This group of fungi includes the members of penicillin, aspergillus, claviceps and neurospora. Okay. Mode of reproduction is asexual reproduction occurs through asexual spores produced exogenously such as conidia produced on conidiospores. Sexual reproduction takes place through ascospores produced endogenously in sac-like asci and arranged inside ascocarps. Okay. Basidiomycetes. This group of fungi includes members such as Stillego, or agaricus or punacia. Okay. Mode of nutrition, they grow as decomposers in the soil or on logs and tree stumps. They also occur as parasites in plants, causing diseases such as rust and smuts. Mode of reproduction is asexual mode, which takes place commonly through fragmentation. Asexual spores are absent. Sex organs are absent, but sexual reproduction takes place through plasmogamy, which involves the fusion of two different strains of hyphae. That results the dikaryon, gives rise to a basidium. 4 basidiospores are produced inside the basidium. Next one is Basidiomycetes. It is the group of fungi which include the member of whose. Okay, it was 2 times it was repeated here. Okay, the same thing here. Okay, this was done. Right. Deuteromycetes, the group of fungi which is included the members such as Alternaria, Trichoderma and Colletotrichum. Okay. So mode of nutrition, some members are saprophytes while others are parasites. A large number acts as decomposers of leaf litter. Mode of reproduction, asexual mode in the only way of reproduction in Deuteromycetes. It occurs through asexual spores called conidia. Sexual reproduction is absent in Deuteromycetes. Okay. So what are the characteristic features of euglenoids? Some characteristic features of euglenoids are as follows. Euglenoids are unicellular protists commonly found in fresh water. Instead of cell wall, a protein-rich cell membrane known as pellicle is present. Okay, they bear 2 flagella on the anterior end of the body. A small light sensitive eye spot is present. They contain the photosynthetic pigments such as chlorophyll and can thus prepare their own food. However, in the absence of light, they have similar to heterotrophs by capturing other small aquatic organisms. They have both plant and animal-like features, which makes them difficult to classify. Give a brief account of viruses with respect to the structure and nature of genetic material. Also name 4 common viral diseases. Viruses are submicroscopic infectious agents that can infect all the living organisms. A virus consists of genetic material surrounded by a protein coat. The genetic material may be present in the form of DNA or RNA. Most of the viruses infecting plants, they have a single stranded RNA as a genetic material. Okay. So on the other hand, the viruses infecting animals have single or doubled stranded. Okay. Sorry. On the other hand, the viruses infecting animals are single or double stranded RNA or double stranded DNA. Right? Bacteriophages or viruses infecting bacteria mostly have double stranded DNA. Their protein coat called capsid is made up of capsomere subunits. So these capsomeres are arranged in helical or polyhedral geometric forms. Okay, AIDS, smallpox, mumps and influenza are some of the common types of viral diseases. Organize a discussion in your class on the topic, are viruses are living or non-living? By seeing the present situation, you can identify whether it is living or non-living. Viruses are microscopic organisms which have the characteristic of both living and non-living. A viruses consist of a strand of DNA or RNA covered by a protein coat. This presence of nucleic acid suggests that viruses are alive. In addition, they can also respond to their environment in a limited manner. Environment means inside the host where it is present. However, some other characters such as their inability to produce without using the host cell machinery and their acellular nature indicate that viruses are non-living. Therefore, classifying viruses has remained a mystery for modern systematics. Okay, so with this I am ending the session. Just all of you like the session, share with your friends. These PDFs also I'll provide tomorrow onwards in the group as well as in the description box also. So download this. Tomorrow I'll come with the multiple choice questions of this chapter. Right? So be strong, be safe, be confident, all of you. Okay. Just share with your friends, like the session, ask them to subscribe. Subscribe my channel Vijaya Manorama Tutorials. So all the best. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.